let me down easy. If you're gonna leave me, baby, go and leave me all the way. Don't ask for all your things back, cussing out my name, yeah, just to go and take back what you say. Burn all the bridges, don't ask forgiveness, walk away like I'm someone you hate. Don't let me down easy. If you're gonna leave me, baby, go and leave me all the way.
If it's over, so fuck it. Just don't act like my love wasn't nothing. Like I wasn't the one you was holding that night, telling all of your secrets and hugging. Guess you right, it's too good to be true. Was a point, all I needed was you. But shit, time after time, I just fussing and fighting. It's time that you do what you do. And it's cool. Mama said it was fish in the sea, I got lost in the pool. Knew it was coming, I watched how you move. How you turn your back on me and leave me to lose. Remember the text, how you said that you do. Said that you never leave, we would fight till it's due. But as it went on, I was fighting for you. Since the text turned green, why the fuck it ain't blue? Guess you done and I get it. Said you stay and you wanted my name and you left, so I'm guessing that you never meant it. Said you try and hold on cause the love was so strong, now I'm standing alone in this kitchen. Singing sad songs, but I'm knowing that this shit don't last long. If you leaving, then leave cause your bag's gone. But just know you can never come back home.
Don't let me down easy. If you're gonna leave me, baby, go and leave me all the way. Don't ask for all your things back, cussing out my name, yeah, just to go and take back what you say. Burn all the bridges, don't ask forgiveness, walk away like I'm someone you hate. Don't let me down easy. If you're gonna leave me, baby, go and leave me all the way.
If you say that you done it, no take back. Said you fell out of love and I hate that. But see me, I was stuck like a drug, really feeling for love and somehow I can't shake back. When you walked out that door, I was hurting. All the dreams in my head, you was perfect. You remember the very first time that we chilled and I reached for your hand where the nerves at. Time to pass, but shit, that's what it do. It be times I be sick sitting thinking about you. It was death do us part. You gave me the blue, really played with my heart. Left me lost in confused. Like this shit was fair game, but you made it the rules. On my heart, left a scar and a bruise. Hope that you can stand on all the shit that you did. I'm done, y'all finally through.
Don't let me down easy. If you're gonna leave me, baby, go and leave me all the way. Don't ask for all your things back, cussing out my name, yeah, just to go and take back what you say. Burn all the bridges, don't ask forgiveness, walk away like I'm someone you hate. Don't let me down easy. If you're gonna leave me, baby, go and leave me all the way.
Got the devil in your eyes. You went and took me by surprise. Say what you wanna say, I won't go back. If you wanna hit the road, then let's go then. Let's just go and see the world and just show them what it really means to live life golden. Yeah, we're golden, baby girl, we're golden. They're about to see us shine, cause we're golden. They can't ever break us down, cause we're golden. They're about to see us glow, cause we're golden. Yeah, we're golden, baby girl, we're golden. They're about to see us shine, cause we're golden. They can't ever break us down, cause we're golden. They're about to see us glow, cause we're golden. Got the devil in your eyes. You went and took me by surprise. Say what you wanna say, I won't go back. If you wanna hit the road, then let's go then. Let's just go and see the world and just show them what it really means to live life golden. Yeah, we're golden, baby girl, we're golden. They're about to see us shine, cause we're golden. They can't ever break us down, cause we're golden. They're about to see us glow, cause we're golden. Yeah, we're golden, baby girl, we're golden. They're about to see us shine, cause we're golden. They can't ever break us down, cause we're golden. They're about to see us glow, cause we're golden.
Testing, alright. You can cut out that other shit.
Hey, yo, aim.
Yeah.
Hey, bitch, I'm from Texas, where we sit riding swangers and put diamonds in our necklace. Pour drink inside my lemonade till it look like a Pepsi. See, I come from the D where we got checks and we be flexing. If you ain't from my state, then you should know don't fuck with Texas. Hey, we always strap, we keep our weapons. My mama from the 8, she slowed it down for me at 7. Used to think Pepsi was a guy before he went to heaven. I knew what pushing P was before Gunna even said it. Hey, C0 taught me keep my weapon and never trust a nigga or a bitch cause it's expected. No killers from the country, they ride horses and throw sevens. Got niggas in the east ride ATVs with Mac 11s.
First off, you better remember what that sign say before you come down here to this bitch. Don't mess with Texas. Cause you know everybody around this bitch got guns, nigga.
Hey, see, I'm from Texas. We got Beyonce, Trader Truth, and we can't forget Devin. Big shout out to them boys, and I can't forget back in Texas. I've been feeling like Luca, how I bought that shit a blessing. Number 1 rule in Texas, keep it solid, ain't no telling. Hey, and always keep your fucking weapon. A nigga try me other guys, we got no choice but stretch him. If he survive these shots at first, bet he die on that stretcher. These diamonds, I got water, might just go Johnny my next one. Hey, this Texas tea is what I drink. Sauce Walker had us dripping, sauce having hoes in on drink. Young Nasa had us jigging, dipping, ain't know how to think. Now I got all these niggas stepping, swiping, catching plays. Hey. See, I'm back on my... Yeah. See, I'm back on my bullshit. Hey, see, I'm back on my bullshit. Came a long way from school, bitch. We them niggas been banging and walking with full clips. Pocket filled with them blue strips. All I hang with the solid, can't fuck with no loose lips. If he ran, cut him loose quick. If a fuck nigga try, bet his ass make the news quick. Hit his ass with these blue tips. But these niggas won't shoot shit. Cause these peons ain't stepping how my niggas stepping. Walk them down, but that teach them a lesson. I been kicking shit cool and got paper like Messi. Bitch, I'm Zion, yo old nigga red. She say that she love how my big ass be dressing. How that Audemars go with that neck. My features are dub, my shoulders a blessing. I got paper, I ain't doing no stress. The one who put all this together, they gave me some good and I made that shit better. Turned up the notch, my watch changed up the weather. I'm bigger and better, shit bigger than ever. Thought they was running shit, I had to catch him. He tried with some funny shit, shoot it, go stretch. I ran up some money and never got selfish, I'm solid. I put my whole team on the blessing.
A person who thinks all the time has nothing to think about except thoughts. So, he loses touch with reality and lives in a world of illusions. By thoughts, I mean specifically chatter in the skull, perpetual and compulsive repetition of words, of reckoning and calculating. I'm not saying that thinking is bad. Like everything else, it's useful in moderation. A good servant, but a bad master.
There we go. What is going on, everyone? Welcome to Special Media brought to you by Club MX. My name's Special Ed, and we are getting ready to go racing for our MXL Pro-Am round number 4. Super excited to be here, as this track is a very fast, very gnarly track. Gonna see how guys are able to fight through this track, see if they can find any alternate lines. They're gonna make life a little easier on them. As always, you guys know the drill. Gonna run through the sponsors. MXL first up on the list. Obviously, the host of the series, Rico, and the whole crew doing such a phenomenal job running this Pro-Am and Amateur series. So huge shout out to those guys. TPR, the man Toasty, the Dirt Labs crew, everybody over there, Effortless Suspension. Huge shout out to those guys. AB Customs, the man Bryce. If you guys are looking for any boots, helmets, gear, anything custom, make sure you guys go check out AB Customs Discord. TH Visuals as well, the man Thunder. Haven't seen him here today. Typically we do, but huge shout out to that man. If you guys are looking for any custom graphics or anything of that nature, make sure you guys hit him up. Speed Photography, my man Dean doesn't really do much photography anymore, but always love to show the support to the homies. Additionally to that, up above me here in the monitor, VM Visuals, decals, 3D renders. Eltrix does such an insane job when it comes to all of the work that he puts in, the booth that we're sitting in, the overlays, what you guys will see later on, the podiums. That is all done by the man Eltrix. If you guys are interested in any of his work or curious to see how he brings MX bikes to real life, make sure you guys go check out my Discord as well as his. You can find all of the links and all of the showcases, I guess is the best word for it, all in my Discord. So make sure you guys go check them out. And then last but not least, the title sponsor, Club MX Practice Facility out of Chesterfield, South Carolina. Obviously one of the #1 training facilities, I would say, in the world out here on the East Coast. Such a phenomenal place. One of the coolest places that you'll ever drive into. Got all the billboards up, all the tracks, housing, lodges, everything that you could possibly think of. Full gym, race shop, the whole shebang. So huge shout out to everybody over at Club MX, as well as my connection over there, Mike Bonacci. Huge shout out to those guys. But as we start talking about it, though, in Spain, let's kick things on down to our track cams as we start getting ready for race number 1. Taking a look at our list here, Apparetta on that Nexus Co. Ozzy from the Ramen Co. Shifty from that Nexus Co. team, Nubo, Zapoik, Lillian. We got Jinx, Cannon, Frankie, Sui, Jacko, Zeke, Waz, Jack Gatlin, Andy, Green, Rico, Basmo, Paco, another Rico in there, Jensen, Slowy. Give me one sec. Let me slide down the list here just a little bit. We do have a full one here. Chris, BJ, Jack, Mally, Benj, E.B. Amato, Kiki, Riley, Saba, Trollo, Abreu, Drake, Dank, Aragon, Joman, and Flex is going to be our 39 riders here. Don't know if we're going to have that 40th rider joining us here tonight. But as always, super excited to see what we can get into. Does sound like we might be going racing here any second. Sounds like that horn might be going off. Make sure you guys are kicking back, relaxing, and get ready for some awesome racing action as riders now in the gate here for round number 4. See if we can pull up my live timing here as well so we can see all of our cuts live timing. As well, pulling up our championship as we sit right now. It is Berger and Nubo running 1 and 2 in the championship. I don't think I said their names, did I? I don't think I saw Nubo in here. If you guys know, make sure you guys let me know. Give me any updates. If you guys know of anybody missing that may be in this championship hunt. Shifty saying he couldn't put a lap down, but I'm pretty sure I saw him in here. And also, as we were getting ready to and getting the whole countdown in, Lil Andy boy, appreciate the follow there. Oh, you couldn't run fast. Oh, well, you're still in. Don't give me that. Rocky in the house. What is going on, brother? And let's go, Andy. Saba, gate positions for race 1, I do believe, are a little random. It's kind of a first come, first serve. It's a little odd on how that kind of works. But here we go. There it is. The 30-second board is up. It's going to be going sideways here. There it goes. Revs to the moon here as we get ready to go racing for Moto number 1 in our Pro-Am MXL GP series. Gate is down and we are going racing as riders making their way down this long start straight into the big sweeping right-hander, and half the field has gone flying. Basmo is going to be accredited with the whole shot, and as people start populating back in, we're going to take a look to see who is where, and it does look like pace on the GMXC Husqvarna into the number 1 position. Basmo on the Unity team into the number 2 spot. We do have the series host Rico on that MXL FXR ride in that number 2 position now. Jack going to be sitting in that 4th position. There he is, Nubo. Missed him on the rider list. On that Ramenko KTM, going to be looking to do some damage here early on. Benj as well. Riley from that Outlaw team. No, he is a very fast rider. Amato, a big fan favorite. We also have the other Rico from the Peak Performance. Drake on that MDC KTM. Frankie, BJ. There is Shifty. Zup, Waz, Aragon. We got a whole bunch of riders towards the front of the pack here. We got Cannon from the HSM team. Benj trying to get all the camera time he can. Jinx on that MRC down to the inside. Not going to hit the big triple here that we're going to see Jacko leap for. Comes up just a little short. It's a line that if you can hit right is very quick, but definitely have to make sure you have the pace for it. As we continue, though, through this first lap, still a few little pileups here and there. Most riders deciding to double their way over that jump. That is another big time saver as we now make our way back over the finish line for the first time here. And it does look like Rico has moved himself into that number 2 position. Paco on the GMXC bike running in that number 1 spot. And he is going to go over the bars. Has some Paboso issues. And Rico is going to come over that East Action Sports double down and over that Benton Racing big double in that number 1 position. Nubo on the Ramenko is running second in our points, running in the number 2 spot here early on. Paco back up and moving as he's going to be fighting for that number 3 spot. Looks like he may have caught a hay bale, goes down hard. And Jack now going to be looking at moving himself inside that top 3. Paco still having some issues as he gets tangled up and goes off the side of the track. And once you scrape past this 3rd, 4th position, it is an endless train. Riley, Zup. We also have Basmo still holding strong upside in that top 5. Lillian, BJ, Aragon, Drake, and Paco. There he is. A couple mistakes has led him back to the... Oh, and he goes over the bars, getting collected by a downed rider. As it is a relatively narrow track, these riders going to have to try and find every bit of room that they can. As we see about 3 riders wide hitting this big Ace Moto triple on these 250s wide open for them. And these guys still continuing to try and click off laps. We'll start to see these guys separate just a little bit as we make our way further through lap number 1. What we are going to see is this Nubo here? No, that is Jack. Where did Nubo go? Is Nubo gone? No, that's got to be our race leader here, Jack. Nubo's now in the number 2 spot. Rico from the Peak Performance ride now up inside that top 3 after Jack with a mistake. That allows Zup as well as Drake, Riley, Basmo, Jack Amato, Lillian, and Rico, who was our race leader, falling back just a little bit here. Gonna try and work up a slightly different line. It looks like Jack off the side of the track went from the race lead and is now struggling to stay inside that top 10. Seeing these guys fly down that hill into that outside line, a pretty main line there. Gonna see one rider try something a little different, able to hold on strong. And that does look like BJ might be our new race leader, as Rico from the Peak Performance Husqvarna ride into the number 2 position. Riley should be next up on the line. Outlaw rider on the Husqvarna looking very good. Does not get the drive out of the corner that he was looking for. Drake does. And the MDC rider now moves himself into that number 3 position. Motto on that TRTFR Honda ride is looking to make a pass here, but is not going to make the big triple in. Lillian is going to grab 2 positions on that one jump, and that is going to be a huge one on that Propulse MX Yamaha. A couple new faces up here towards the front. Love to see it, as these GP tracks are so different from each and every week. These guys really have to be dialed in to figure out what works well. And right now, this man, BJ, is absolutely flying. 3-second lead over that number 2 spot of Rico on that Peak Performance Husqvarna ride. Drake down on the inside. Lillian is going to move himself into the number 3 spot. Basmo on the Unity team now closing that gap up just a little bit. And I do believe that is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 all right there together. 9 not too far behind. Drake with another mistake. And man, a couple mistakes here, but BJ, 8-second lead now over the rest of this field. Amato now looks like he has moved himself into the number 2 position. Basmo is going to be in that number 3 spot. Rico on that MXL, after a great start to the race, fell back just a little bit. Now has that number 3 position right there in front of him. Going to work down to this inside line. Not going to hit the big triple. And that is going to get interesting as this track erodes away. Are those guys still able to hit that big triple line in? These guys using every bit of power that these 250s got to get over some of these big jumps out here in Spain. Glancing just a little bit back, Nubo now up inside that top 5. Cannon right there on the HSM KTM in 6th. Drake, though, trying to go to work on the MDC ride. We also have Aragon. We have Jack. Is that Mally, I believe, and that is going to be Zeke as well. So these guys all right there together. And we are 3 wide coming back down that East Action Sports downhill double and up and over the big Benton Racing's double right there in the middle of the track, as these riders make their way back through over the big Charge Cycle Works tabletop. Couple big jumps here. Motto still running very strong on that Honda. Currently runs in that number 2 spot. Basmo in that number 3. And now Rico has his hands full as Nubo trying to pull alongside of him. Rico still trying to work down this inside line. Trying to carry the momentum, seeing if he can get that double-double. Nubo around the outside. And the Ramico rider's going to move himself into that number 4 spot and pick up another quick one, as he now makes the pass on Basmo for the number 3 spot. Going to see if Rico can work up an inside line here. Not quite close enough. Over the finish line once again. 11 minutes on the clock here for Moto number 1. And all these riders swinging way wide. Nobody trying to stay tight there. And as we still keep an eye on that timing and scoring, we'll glance back. Cannon in that 6th spot. Aragon is going to be right there with Drake. Jack and Mally over the top of that 0 table. One of the smallest jumps on this track. A huge speed check for these riders. That is Zeke as well. That is looking back about the 12th position. Benj, Rico, Frankie. We do have Chris and Jinx right there together. That is looking back to the 18th spot. A Brew from the Neverland, going to be expecting him to continue charging forward, but has a very fast 2 riders there with him. And as we say, a Brew off the side of the track, that opens the door for Jacko and the man Riley. EB in the mix. There is Saba. Once again, I know a fan favorite. Joman in the mix there as well. He is outside that top 22. Shifty from the Nexus Co-Ride still trying to hold himself strong. Talked to him earlier on in the day. He is fighting an illness, so he is just trying to salvage some points as he currently sits about 4th in our championship. We do have a few other riders. There's Trollo, Apparetta. We got Jack Gatlin in there. Paco, who is up early on, having some mistakes here and fallen back just a bit. There is Green. We got Dank, Andy from the Jester Ride. There is Slowy, the Trojan Rider. Trying to see whose name that was. Waz on the LFT Honda. There is Kiki. And I do believe this is our final rider here, Jensen. That is our whole pack as it sits right now, but we are going to go ahead and see if we can catch back up with our race leader, who I do still believe is the man BJ, as he makes his way over that huge DJ Designs tabletop. And he has a 16-second lead over the rest of this pack. Absolutely flying here, as he is going to leap his way into that triple over the 0 triple. Dives down to this inside, checks up just a touch so he can put the power to the ground. Hits that big ace triple here before the finish line. Tries to keep power to the ground, as he does have about 8 minutes here in Moto 1 left. See the timer up on the finish line. And as we can see, nobody even in sight. Next rider is going to be the Ramenco rider of Nubo, who is once again fighting for this championship. Goes down in the turn before the finish line, and that is going to allow Aragon and Rico to charge up here. Basmo as well charging forward in that 5th spot. I believe this is Amato on that TRT Honda ride. Drake on that MDC KTM. Lillian from the Pulse MX. Cannon from the HSM, and Zeke all right there together. Jinx. And there is Jack and Frankie. Chris, Benj, Enrico from the Peak Performance ride. Saw him early up front. Not quite sure what happened to him, but he has fallen off the pace quite a bit. When Basmo with a mistake off the side of the track is gonna mess up Drake as well. And Lillian may have a 2-for-1 there. And Nubo still trying to run away from Rico. And Aragon, who does not make the big double, allows Amato to reel him right in. Enrico, the MXL rider, still running strong in that number 3 spot. Once again, talked to him early in the week, and he was mentioning that he has been struggling with some late race performance. So we are going to see if he can continue to charge hard here through this final 6 minutes. here in race number 1. And down this start straight, it is key to keep power to the ground and not get too much wheel spin. Seeing Aragon running very strong on that KTM in that 5th position. Do have Amato there. Looks like there may be some cuts involved. And we're going to move the camera here for just a quick second, pull up our live timing. There we go. I'm watching these riders make their way over that Benton Racing double. Next up on that list is Lillian from the Propulse MX Ride. One of the only Yamahas that we see here tonight. Drake on that MDC CDS KTM. Still running strong. Do have Frankie, Zeke, Brew, Jack, and Rico. Mally and Jinx all right there together. Benj, Riley, Chris, Basmo, Ozzy, Jacko, Cannon, and Joman now squeaking his way inside that top 22. EB from the NGL racing team. Apparetta from the Nexus Co. Trollo and Saba all back to about the 25th position. And just look at the E-Road already starting to develop. So these riders may have to make some adjustments to their lines. And here we go. The battle continues. This is going to be 3, 4, and 5. All right here together. Does look like there is some cuts involved. Rico has about 3 seconds, where Amato only has 2. Nubo picking up another second there, so he is going to have to be careful as these guys have been running his pace. And just like that, tries to dive down to the inside, makes a mistake, and that is going to throw away that number 2 spot and even the podium position, as our front 4 guys have been all right there together. As the MXL rider still continues to try and run away from Aragon. And it is going to get interesting as this track continues to E-Road. What lines are these guys going to have to try and favor to? Already seeing a lot of these guys starting to work this inside line. As this E-Road starts to develop some kickers. Nubo swings wide. And is going to put Aragon to the ground. Looked like he even checked up there. Tried not to hit him, but unfortunately gonna toss him off the side of the track. Aw, Shifty. That sucks, man. Drake in that 7th spot. A Brew from the Neverland still charging forward up into the 8th position. Starts has always been his weakness. The peak performance rider Rico still running inside that top 10. Benj, Jinx, Frankie, Riley, Ozzy, Jack, Cannon, Mally all right there together. Jacko gonna be closing up this first big group. And Frankie off the side of the track, not quite sure what happened there. I don't know if he ran out of fuel or if his controller disconnected. And this is looking at everyone. Benj there in 10th, Jinx 11th. Ozzy and Riley duking it out for 12th there. Cannon in that 13th or 14th. Mally shows him in 19th. He may have some serious cuts here. Does look like he has about 11 seconds of cut. And we're going to see Ozzy going down there on that Ramen Co ride. As the rest of the riders making their way by. Joman now up into 17th. Zeke as well. There is Jack. Not quite sure what happened to Jack there as he is fallen off the pace just a little bit. And BJ once again, don't even really have to try and follow to see where he is at, as he is absolutely gone. 31-second lead over the rest of this pack. Rico on that MXL FXR ride, now into the number 2 spot, as he has Nubo right there behind him. Both these guys have 3 seconds of cuts, so this is going to be the race of the night here. Amato in that 4th spot on that TRT Honda ride, looking about 3 seconds back from this group. We do have Lillian, great ride here from the Pulse MX rider in that 5th position. And Aragon still trying to run strong in 6th and not let these guys get too far ahead. Nubo with a much better drive over that huge double. Back down the Charge CycleWorks tabletop as they get into one of the fastest sections of this track, all the way around the outside. Rico still trying to hold on strong. Nubo starting to get creative, works his way up the inside. Not quite close enough to make it stick this time, but is starting to put things together. And look at this, Rico starting to play a little blocker, but not quite close enough, as Nubo around the outside. Is he gonna go for this big triple? E-Road getting a little crazy. He does, and he gets it too. What a drive out of the corner. And Nubo, the Ramen co-rider, is gonna move himself back into that number 2 position as we are on our final lap. Looks like BJ has grabbed the white flag. These guys seeing it for the first time. 1 lap to go and 30 seconds ahead. Let's see if we can catch up with our race leader. I don't even know where he would be. There is Zeke. There is our race leader, BJ, as he makes his way towards that DJ Designs big double, making it look easy. All the way around the outside, does not get the drive he was looking for though. He's gonna opt to go double and single out of there. Ooh, and a mistake out of him. He is human as he goes down on this final lap over that Ace Moto triple one more time here in race number 1. And I do believe the privateer rider, BJ, on the 639 comes across the line and gets it done here, race number 1. Not quite sure what just happened there. Those guys tangled up cartwheeling. We're going to see where our next riders are. There is Nubo, as Nubo runs in that number 2 spot. Amato in there as well. And Nubo comes across the line for the Ramen Co. in the number 2 spot. Amato and Lillian. So Lillian gonna grab that number 3 spot away. Amato 4th. That is going to be Rico 5th. Aragon is going to grab 6th. Drake 7th. A Brew on the Neverland MWS Husqvarna ride needs to get those starts dialed. He is going to grab 8th. Riley on that Outlaw Husqvarna in 9th. Cannon on the HSM 10th. Jinx is going to come across 11th. That is the Peak Performance Rico in 12th. Joman across the line in 13th. Bench and Ozzy 14, 15. Basmo, the Unity Racing team, in 16th. I believe that was Chris, Trollo, Jack, Paco, Flex, then Paco, Jacko, Apparetta. Just trying to glance through who else we have coming across our line. There is Jack, buried back there in 27th. and Slowy as well. And I believe that is going to do it for all of our riders on track here for race number 1. And it is going to go to BJ, who had a fantastic ride and continued to charge forward throughout that whole race there. 32nd win. That is quite impressive. But as we start to get ready here for our race number 2, make sure you guys are kicking back, relaxing, grabbing a drink, as I know myself, I definitely need one here. And as we were in the racing as well, Zelty, appreciate that follow there, brother. We're at 936 followers. We're still charging forward to try and hit that that all coveted 1,000 mark. So if you guys aren't following, make sure you guys hit that follow button. I do apologize for anybody tuning in. Unfortunately, I do not speak Spanish, but Strider, that was a crazy first moto. And just as crazy it is, we are going to be getting ready to go racing. Oh, no, looks like it was just a false alarm there. MXP, appreciate the follow there, brother. Was killed by the world. Dude, turn 1 was nuts. That was absolutely insane. Everybody died, I think, in turn 1. Oh, it's Paco. Dude, you were flying out there. What happened? You were doing so good, and then all of a sudden you fell way off the pace. Fair enough. Typically it goes the other way around, brother. You gotta have a good race and maybe a bad start, or have both. Both good start and good race there, but we'll see if turn 1's any cleaner here come race number 2. That was I think we had probably 32 riders down in this little section right here. And as always, make sure you guys are checking it out. The Discord, all of our sponsors, make sure you guys check them out, show them some love, let them know that Special Media sent you. Like I said, we got a lot of cool stuff coming up here. We do have plans. We're going to have a showing of our Special Media crew at the Charlotte SMX. That is a home race to me. So if you guys are in the area, or if you plan on being at the Charlotte SMX, make sure you let me know. Gonna try and have some merch and stuff on hand. So if you guys are gonna be kicking around at that race, definitely make sure to let me know, and I would love to hook you guys up stickers and things of that nature. But riders just taking a quick break here. Everybody getting just a quick breather in. See what kind of first turn angle are we looking at here. This starts a little interesting. It's like crooked. I gotta turn my camera on its side. Track does not reset. Oh, Shifty, you're not gonna make it, brother? And there it is. The horn has gone off as we get ready to go racing here for Moto number 2 of round number 4 in Spain of the MXL GP series. Dean the man, what is going on, brother? Well, Shifty, always love having you come hanging out with us, and unfortunately that sucks, man. I know you weren't feeling the greatest here the past day or so, so definitely make sure you get some rest and get ready for next week. But here we go as revs are going up for Moto number 2. Gate is down and we are going racing. And there's already carnage early on down this start straight. Riders trying to slow down enough. Most of our riders making it through relatively clean. It is going to be Ozzy on the Ramico accredited with the whole shot. And he is going to be running up front early on in race number 2. Jack with a great start here in the number 2 spot. Aragon, a very fast rider, lurking in that number 3 position. Cannon, the HSM rider, in the number 4. That is the peak performance rider, Rico, up in the mix off the side of the track, and not the greatest track re-entry. Unfortunately, this track has some gnarly off-track excursions. We do have Mally Basmo in the mix as well. Well, Dean, if you were here, you would have seen it. Come on now. This track is brutal. But we are watching these guys absolutely kill it here. Ozzy on that Ramen Co. out front. He has been our Moto 2 kind of king here lately. He does very well in these second motos. E-Road starts to come into play and he looks good. Aragon in that number 2 spot. He is looking very good here as well. We do have Basmo from the Unity team running on the TM in that number 3 spot. Mally goes down hard, opens the door. Waz and Jack are going to make the pass happen. And Trollo, the CBR rider, running up towards the front as well. There is Drake Jinx. Where is BG, our race 1 winner? Benj in there. Frankie, Jack, Gatlin. There is Joman, Jensen as well. Paco, Andy. Nubo Flex absolutely flat landing that jump. No, you weren't. Who are you trying to fool? Transports don't count as saving lives. But as we have on screen over that Charged Cycle Works, Rico, not the race that he wanted to have here in race number 2. And where Andy absolutely leaping off the side of the track. What you mean if only that were the truth? Let's see if we can jump back up to our leaders here. That is going to be Ozzy running in that number 1 spot still for that Ramiko. Aragon still holding strong in the number 2. Trollo in the mix as well in that 3rd position. Mally still holding strong, has Jack right there behind him. Once again, probably some cuts involved. And Jinx, the RC factory rider, is in the mix. Jack getting Paboso tossed through that corner. Drake able to make the pass there, and he is going to move up 1 more position as Jack is going to fall quite a few. That is going to be Paco. A much better race so far for the GMXC rider. And a much better ride here for Jensen. Jensen was very far back in race 1. Was off the side of the track, able to cut back in before the wall there. Just kind of keeping an eye on all these riders making their way by. Few of our very front guys buried, absolutely buried back there. I don't even see BJ. I don't know if he was cut due to a too fast of a lap time or not. But I have not even seen him on the list here so far. Nubo not even inside our top 22. Lillian is in 21st. Amato, who was 4th in race 1, in 14th. So a lot of people buried in the back of this pack early on in race number 2. But Ozzy off to a great start here, looking to grab this race. And did we just get a restart? Did server just DC? Maxime, appreciate the follow there, brother. Any MXL guys? What just happened there? Let's see if we can take a look here. Server crashed. So Rico, and exactly what we're getting here. Server was in poor condition, quote unquote. For some reason, this also usually leads to no results counting. Everyone skipping around all over the place. Literally nothing we could have done to prevent it. So let's kick things on back down to the booth here as we start to figure out what we got going on and see what the solution to it is here. Make sure you guys hang with us just for a quick moment as we start to dial things in and figure out what we can do. Server is up again. I can confirm that it was quite laggy. My guess is Rico moving it to a new server, see what we can figure out here. Server is up. Once again, server is up. MXL, MXBGP Pro-Am Main A. We were about halfway through, weren't we? Quarter? Sam, I appreciate the follow there, brother. Welcome in. And it looks like we're starting to get everybody flowing back into the server here, so we're gonna have to keep a close eye on this, see what we got. Make sure everybody's joining up very quickly here. I think we're just getting a full reset here. And that was crazy. Don't have that very often where it crashes kind of mid-race. Is unfortunate for the man Ozzy, who got a great start and was out front. If you're one of our front guys though from race 1, you are going to be happy about that. Where is Nubo? There he is. Yeah, Nubo going to be very happy of that one. Lillian as well. Amato, all those guys outside the top 15. See a brew buried in the back there. Take a look at this Jester bike. It's a ghost. Interesting bike. Ben just takes him out. We got the Neverland guys. Once again, if you guys want your kits in the racing, make sure you guys submit them to me. Yeah, I don't delete anybody's kits. So like probably end of motocross, so not GP, but the AMA motocross season, I'll go through and I'll delete a bunch out, and then as people get new stuff, they can send all that in. But if you guys send me a kit that you guys run each and every week, I'll have it. Andy? I'd have to take a look. I got your bike and everything, so that part worked. But yeah, for some reason the kit didn't. The helmet did. Interesting. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Dank out here on that zero gear PFR ride. Oh, and also Riley. I do apologize. I didn't see that you had sent it to me as a private message until like 10 minutes ago. So I do apologize for that. But here we go. Race number 2 getting ready to go underway for the MXL Pro-Am race number 4. Gate is down and we are going racing. And let's see if Ozzy can get another good start. And it is going to be Drake who gets a phenomenal jump. And Nubo, the Ramen rider, is going to grab the number 1 spot here early on. Drake in the number 2 spot. Basmo, the Unity team rider, there looking to move his way up early as he moves around the outside. A very clean line there. Saba as well looking to move and try and make a pass here for the race lead, but he is going to get clipped and goes down. A whole pile of riders trying to figure their way through. Aragon is going to go down. And look at that, a whole bunch of riders trying to split around him. Paco, unfortunately, going to be getting clipped, goes down there as well. I do apologize, all these trees, trying to get the best camera angle through them. And that does look like Drake tucks the front, goes down. And Basmo, the Unity team rider, out into the number 1 spot here. Chris on that Husqvarna going to be running in the number 2. Brew from the Neverland, a better start here, race number 2. And he has the opportunity to move his way up into the race lead. We know he has the pace. And fortunately for these riders, because we got a server restart, track has been reset as well, so we are on a fresh track. And Ozzy, the Ramen rider, is going to be just in the mix, sitting just outside that top 3. Oh, and a Brew goes down. Oh, so does Basmo. And so that is going to open the door. Chris, Ozzy, and Drake, 1, 2, and 3 now. Look at that, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. All the riders right there together. Look at that single file around the corner. Basmo once again having a little bit of a mistake. And off the side of the track he goes. And it is Chris still running strong in the number 1 spot. Chris 17th in moto number 1. So he is on a much better ride here. Race 2. Ozzy was 14th, race number 1. So he is definitely looking a lot better here. And it is Chris making a mistake, goes down. Looks like Drake may have taken a little shot at Ozzy there. And Ozzy able to hold strong in the number 1 position here. Cannon, the HSM KTM rider, now into the number 2 spot. And Rico, the MXL FXR ride, is now up onto a podium position as he looks to continue forward. And we come around the corner and Ozzy down on the ground. Everybody checking up, not going to hit that big triple. And we are 3 wide coming into that Benton Racing left-hander. Amato jumps over the top of Ozzy. The TRT FR rider just dodging one there. Rico gonna make a little mistake, and Nubo up the inside. I do believe that is gonna be the battle for the overall. If Rico can stay up with Nubo. And look at that, it's Rico on Rico action. The MXL FXR rider in peak performers. And Aragon, what you mean, brother? Ooh, and look at that. That was Cannon on the ground, had moved himself into the number 1 spot. Rico now sits in that number 2, and I do believe Nubo going to be back out into the number 1 position here. Chris, Ozzy, Drake, Andy, the other Rico, Amato, Jinx, Jensen, Saba, Riley on that outlaw ride, a Brew, Kiki on the Honda, Lillian still not the greatest second moto that we were looking for, and it just kicked me back to my cameras. Do apologize for that. Ooh, I hit the wrong button. Technical difficulties. Hold on here, folks. There we go. See, who do we got back here? There's Benj, unfortunately buried at the back of the pack. Boy, look at this, a mistake out of Nubo. Rico, the MXL FXR rider, now gonna be running in that number 1 spot. Thunder with the sub. Let's go, brother. Welcome on in. Appreciate the sub. 3 months in a row. Let's go. Huge shout out to the man Thunder. Once again, if you guys didn't hear my spiel at the beginning or in the middle, make sure you guys check out TH Visuals for any graphics needs. That man has been absolutely killing it. Has not been in the game very long, but he is doing an absolutely phenomenal job at all of the work that he does. We are going to be doing a giveaway come 1,000 followers. So make sure you guys are hitting that follow button and getting on that list. Tyrani, appreciate the follow there, brother. And here we have Nubo still running strong in that number 1 spot. Had a little bit of a hiccup, able to rebound as he makes his way back down that East Action Sports downhill double. Rico, both Ricos, Amato, Jensen, ooh, Flex going down hard, and a lot of riders making passes there. Saba, Drake, all over that Charge Cycle Works tabletop. Lillian on the Propulse MX Yamaha goes down once again. Every time makes a little traction, is going to be met with the ground. And Cannon on a absolute burner here in race 2. Cannon finishing 10th in Moto 1. Now has the opportunity for a race win here if he can keep up and maintain the pace that he is on. 11 minutes here to go in race number 2. Nubo on that Ramenco KTM still holding strong in the number 1 position. Cannon on the HSM KTM in that number 2 spot. Rico, the MXL FXR rider, in the number 3 spot. Peak Performers Rico in the number 4. That is Amato, the TRT FR rider, in 5th. And Jensen going to be rounding out the top 6. Andy, the Jester Mika rider, there in 7th. Riley, Chris, Jinx, all right there together. That is going to be our top 10 in the Neverland. A Brew in 11th. Ozzy, who we saw up early on in this race and had the whole shot before the red flag. He is going to be sitting about 12th now. Still not horrible, but he does have Lillian right there on his rear tire. Jacko, Apparetta. There is Saba, Waz, Drake, Flex Kiki going down allows Paco, the GMXC rider, to make a pass there. Move himself up one more position. Flex, and there is Joman now cracking inside that top 21 after making the pass there. Frankie, Kiki, and Jack Gatlin all in there as well. May have one more rider here, believe so, and that is going to be Slowy the Trojan rider. And just like we were talking about it, Cannon, the HSM rider, has made the pass for the lead. 9.5 minutes on the clock that we see the riders just to their right. Cannon holds about a 2-second lead over the number 2 spot of Nubo. Let me see if I can get our live timing up here. Give me just a second. Abreu starting to climb inside that top 10, it looks like. And he's bringing Lillian right there with him. Had a rider go down there. That is Andy, the Jester rider. Apparetta, he shows 13th on the list. Right now, fastest lap time does go to Nubo, who runs second in our points championship race. And actually, as we talking about it, these guys are like side by side. Nubo starting to reel him in just a little bit here. He has been our fastest rider on track. As he makes a mistake, he is gonna go down. And that is going to open the door. Rico now going to make the pass on track. And the MXL rider does move himself into that number 2 spot. Nubo, the Ramenko rider, in the number 3 and has Jensen in 4th. Still trying to run away from Amato here. Ooh, and Jensen with a mistake just before the East Actions. Downhill. And that is going to hurt him, as now Amato inside the top 4. Already seeing this track starting to get eroded out a decent bit. And Cannon, after the little mistake by Nubo, has opened the door, and he is starting to run away with this one. A 5.5 second lead now over the number 2 and 3 spot of Rico and Nubo. And actually looks like Nubo has made the pass back for the number 2 spot. Six minutes remaining. Look at that. These guys absolutely on rails here. Starting to close in that gap that Cannon opened up already. So Cannon must have started taking a breather here. And is that a mistake, as Nubo absolutely flying here? Grabbing another gear. takes a little bit of a different line, staying out of some of that E-road. Still trying to make that inside work. Saw him taking that last race. Not going to be fast enough. Amato still running strong on the TRT FR Honda in that 4th position. Jensen in that 5th. Jinx, the MRC factory rider. Much better performance here in race number 2 in that 6th position. That is going to be the peak performers ride. Rico in the 7th. Lillian from the Propulse MX in 8th. A brew from the Neverlands team. Ozzy, the Ramenko rider, is going to be that final 10th spot. Chris is going to be in the 11th. Apparetta and Waz duking it out here. Drake and Riley. Riley, not the ride that he has wanted here on that Outlaw ADAPT Husqvarna ride, as he is buried back there in about 17th. Paco, the GMXC rider, once again, not the ride that he was looking for, 16th. Flex about 20th there. It is going to be Andy, who's been falling back, duking it out with Frankie. Jacko as well, and there is Joman in that 21st position. Jack Gatlin, Kiki, I believe, is going to be one of our final riders. There is Slowy, the Trojan rider. He is our final rider at the back of the pack. I'm shocked that our race leaders are not quite here yet, but there they are, and the battle is on. Cannon and Nubo, HSM versus Ramenko. These guys over that Ace Moto triple. We have about 3 minutes left to go. Who is gonna have it? Who can sprint harder here in the final few laps? Nubo's gonna follow him wide there. Ooh, Nubo leaps off the side of the track, dodging some of the hay bales, and that is gonna open a gap here. And there is Rico, the MXL FXR rider, and he is gonna be trying to charge forward. Can he catch Nubo? Does Cannon have what it takes to run away with this one? Up and over that Charged Cycle Works tabletop. Cannon has been looking very good all race long. Not one of the fastest riders, but man, has he stayed consistent. And speaking of consistent, Rico, the MXL rider, much better race number 2. Nubo falling back to the number 3 spot and now has his hands full with Amato on that TRT Honda. Cannon still getting that big 0 triple in. Does not look like anybody else is going for it. And here is the race. 2, 3, and 4 all in the same corner together. 54 seconds left, so this is gonna come down to the wire. 2 laps to go. Rico tries to defend the inside, and Nubo is gonna take the front wheel out. That is gonna allow Amato by. Rico needs to settle down. As we know, mistakes can compound. Amato down to the inside, not quite close enough to make the pass stick. Nubo off the side of the track. Rico trying to scrub there, doing whatever he can to try and close back in on the rear tire of Nubo there, who has other plans as he is going after that number 1 spot here. Well, he is going to go wide here. Does he go for the big triple? He does. He comes up just a little short, but not going to hurt him too much. And we are going to be getting white flag here on this final lap. White flag is out. 1 to go. Can Cannon, the HSM rider, hold off the pressure from Nubo? It does look like Nubo has some cuts, though, that he is going to have to be mindful of, as it does show that Amato may be into the position, and Nubo tucks the front, goes down in the E-Road, and Amato now into the number 2 spot. Where is Rico? There he is. Now Cannon just needs to hold on strong for the final few corners. So that was 1 and 2. This is 3 and 4. And I gotta say, it does look like Jensen, Lillian, and the other Rico have started to close in this gap just a little bit. So on this final lap, these guys cannot make any mistakes, as Cannon, the HSM rider, has just 2 more turns to go over the Ace Moto Triple, through the final roller section, and can't count it out. But Cannon, the HSM rider, is gonna get it done here. Race number 2. Amato across the line on the TRT FR Honda for that number 2 spot. Rico, the MXL FXR rider, in the number 3 spot. It's gonna be Rico, the peak performance rider, as well, in 4th. Nubo on that Ramenco falling all the way back to 5th. Lillian on the Propulse MX Yamaha grabs 6th place. Jensen in 7th. Jinx, the MRC rider, in 8th. Ozzy, the Ramenco, in 9th. Abreu, Saba, Apparetto, Waz, Paco comes across the line. Riley, or no Riley, Frankie. That was Jacko, Andy. So yeah, so that is going to go Waz, Chris, Paco, Joman, Frankie, Riley, Andy, Flex. Jack Gatlin is going to be right there after Jacko. Kiki comes across the line there. And do we have one more, or did they catch Slowy? No, they caught Slowy at the very end there. And that is going to do it for race number 2. Cannon, the HSM rider, gets it done for Moto 2. Great riding from him. Unfortunately, a 10-1 I don't think is going to be enough to win the overall here today. Amato, great riding from him. 4-2. Oh man, this is going to be a close one for the podium. Rico going 5-3. We also have Nubo going 2-5. Man, this is going to be a close one. Let's kick things on back down to the booth here just for a quick minute as we get our overall results in. I just got to say, Nubo on that Ramenco KTM ride, fastest rider on track that last race, a 139.2. It's almost 2 seconds faster than anybody else on the track. He was absolutely flying. But as soon as we get our overall results in, if you guys are kicking around, you guys want to do some podium speeches, make sure you guys join on into the special media Discord. Once again, I'll have that announcement as soon as we get our overall results up. You guys will join into the special media podium voice chat, and I will drag you on in. And as we're kind of getting ready for the results, as always, just got to run through the sponsor list. MXL, the whole crew, Rico, everybody over there. Huge shout out to you guys for hosting such a phenomenal series, giving us a place to race, the amateurs, the pro-ams, and just bringing a whole new level of racing to the game of MX bikes. So huge shout out to you guys. TPR, I know they used to run a bunch of series this kind of time of season. Unfortunately, not getting much out of them, but that is due to Toasty, who did get his media credentials this year for Supercross. So huge shout out to Toasty and that whole crew, the Dirt Labs, Effortless Suspension guys. Huge shout out to all of them. AB Customs, the man Bryce. If you guys are looking for any custom boots, helmets, gear, whatever it may be, make sure you guys hit Bryce up. TH Visuals, you heard me talking about him earlier. The man Thunder. One of the coolest guys you'll ever talk to. He has been absolutely killing it when it comes to all of the graphics. Make sure you guys are keeping an eye out when we do hit that 1,000 follower mark. We are going to be doing a couple of cool things, and I would like to do a giveaway. One of that giveaway is probably going to be some custom TH Visual special media bikes. So make sure you guys are staying tuned for all of that. As well, the man, you saw him, Dean, out there saving lives, speed photography. Huge shout out to him, and just being one of the homies. And obviously, just above my head here, VM Visuals, Eltrix, the man doing all the renders, all of the 3D modeling, everything that you guys see across the stream, the overlays, the booths, everything. Huge shout out to that man, Eltrix. And then last but not least, the title sponsor of Special Media, Club MX practice and training facility in Chesterfield, South Carolina. As you guys have heard me talk time after time, if you guys are out on the East Coast, make sure you guys check them out, as that facility is absolutely phenomenal. I do believe they have an open ride day here, maybe this weekend. May try and actually make it out there on Saturday. So if you guys are going to be out there, make sure you guys come find me. I drive a silver F-150 and I ride a KTM 450. So if you guys see me, make sure you guys come say hi. Would love to meet some of you guys in person if you guys are kicking around. Or if you guys want to shoot me a DM on Discord, just let me know if you guys are going to be there or not. But as we're waiting for our official results, I do believe they are in. And man, do we have an interesting one. Amato on the TRT FR Honda ride is going to grab the overall here tonight. Great run, stayed consistent, and that was key. Nubo on that Ramen Co. is going to grab that number 2 position. And Cannon, the HSM rider, grabs that number 3 spot overall. So once again, if you guys are kicking around and you guys want a shout out to all the sponsors, make sure you guys jump into the special media Discord. Jump into the podium VC. I'll drag you on into the booth and we'll get a quick word from you. We're going to kick things on over to the podium here just for a little bit. If you guys don't join up, there's no harsh feelings, and we will roll on through. I already see Amato in there. And we'll give it just a second here. See if Cannon, the HSM rider, and Nubo, the Ramen Co rider, are going to join on in. Always like to go 3-1, but we'll see. Don't want to keep Amato waiting too long. All right, well, it looks like Amato so far the only guy in there, so let's go ahead and let's bring Amato on in. He was the one that was able to stay the most consistent on that TRT FR TCG HNZ Tech Honda ride. What a list of sponsors there. once again, never won, didn't win a moto, but is going to grab the overall. Amato, how are we doing, brother?
We are doing well.
That is
This was
great.
fun.
Great to
Yeah.
hear, man. Dude, you were
Yeah.
you were absolutely flying out there. I was just talking about it before bringing you on in. You didn't even win a moto, but you're taking home the overall. So obviously, consistency was key.
It's key. Yeah, that's it. Consistency is key.
Most
basically.
definitely. I did want to ask. I'm trying to remember before we had the red flag. Where were you about?
Oh, I was dead last.
Oh,
No,
so-
I was actually in 9th. I
okay.
was
Okay.
kind of getting there, yeah. But then maybe the red flag was a mistake because I was actually way better in that race before than this one actually. I was
Interesting.
31st in this second race. I started in 31st for like 4 or 5 laps, I think. And I started like going up.
Man, yeah, you were absolutely flying out there. I think the red flag screwed a lot of people up, but also helped a lot of people.
Yeah.
Um, But hey, man, you were absolutely flying out there. Always love seeing the TRT guys showing up, and you guys
Yeah.
have been absolutely killing it.
The biggest team in Portugal, by the way.
Okay. I was gonna say I haven't ventured too much around the South American side of bikes, but it's always
Not
awesome.
Not South American, Portugal in
Oh,
Europe.
Portugal, Europe. I apologize.
yeah,
I don't know
yeah,
why
yeah.
I was thinking South America.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I haven't really played around too much with too many of you guys. I know different servers and stuff.
Yeah, you should check out our server. We have like we always have like what do you call it? Like you pay for a server on the
Yep.
how do you
Like
call
a
that?
dedicated server.
Dedicated yeah, we have that all the time, 24/7. And then we have a Discord server with like 300 people, 300
Okay.
members. Yeah.
May
It's
have to check it out. Yeah, you guys have been showing
Yeah.
up for this the GP series, and it's been awesome to see a
Yeah.
bunch of new
We have
faces.
yeah. We have Kazi on the Pro
Okay. Yep.
MX1 and qualifying for everyone for every round. Yeah, and some others, yeah. It's cool.
Awesome, man. Well, once again, congratulations on that number 1 spot here tonight. Anybody you'd like to thank for tonight's racing?
Seymour, our owner, and some others. But yeah, he actually like paid for my for the season pass. So basically that's it. No one helps me there. Just Seymour.
Fair
I'm
enough, man.
kidding.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey,
Yeah.
if it's getting you up to the front of the box, that's what matters. As always, man, we hope to see you next week. You've been killing it lately. I know we've seen you kind of week after week. We'll have to see
Yeah.
how points are looking after this week because the first place
they're always messed up, I think, because no one has made like has one just they all Jesus. Like it's always messed up because everybody's crashing on AM and
Yep.
it's really difficult to be always on the top. So
most
that's
definitely. Hey,
basically
I think that's what makes the AMs and Pro Am classes so fun, though, is
yeah.
you could miss
mean-
the first 2 rounds and still have an opportunity to fight for a
Yeah.
championship.
To see it's cool. To race it is not, I swear. It is not. Just 2 points, maybe. But it's cool to see, not to race. I swear to God.
I guess, yeah, I could definitely see that as an AMs rider myself. I definitely enjoy watching it.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. Well, once
Yeah.
again, congratulations on that number 1 spot here tonight. As always, we hope to see you next week, and I hope you have a great rest of your night, brother.
Thank you. I'm gonna
Awesome.
sleep now. It's 1 a.m.
Ooh, yeah, definitely get some rest there.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, of
I
course,
hope
man.
to see you. I hope to hear from you next Monday.
Yeah, hopefully.
Thank you.
Yep. Have a good one, man. See ya. All right. I do not think we got anybody else joining us here. So we're going to kick things on back down to the booth here for just a quick second. As always, thank you guys for hanging out with us. Thanks to each and every one of you guys for hitting that follow button. Everybody that hits that subscribe, the man Thunder continuing on the streak. He doesn't like watching ads, so he hits that subscribe button. As always, guys, I hope you have a great rest of your night. Make sure you guys are staying tuned tomorrow for the MXL amateur class. So not pro-am, we're moving to the amateur class. So the guys that did not qualify here tonight, make sure you guys are tuning in tomorrow night as we have just that much more action-packed racing to bring to you right from Spain. As always, you guys have a great rest of your night. We will catch you later. Peace.
And all so-called civilized peoples have increasingly become crazy and self-destructive because through excessive thinking they have lost touch with reality. That's to say, we confuse science with the real world. This is the beginning of meditation. Most of us would